Hey, 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 it's Camille Aiko. I hope that you are living the life that you love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Good evening to everybody. It is Thursday night. We are reading the book, The 10X Rule. We are on chapter 4. So as you're coming in, make sure you drop a 1 below to let me know if you're watching this live. Drop a 2 below if you are catching this on replay. Good evening, everybody. Hey, Stacy, what's going on? I didn't see you agree to my post to making sure that our friendship was official. So I need you to do that. Go back and comment. Yes, Stace. Hey, what's going on, Jerry? What's going on, Antonio? So we are on chapter 4 tonight, and chapter 4 is Success is Your Duty. So what I want you all to do is share this video to help somebody else out, and in doing that, you're going to be able to get entered into a drawing to win cash, to win free products, to win gift cards. Girl, you laughing, but I'm not seeing a yes. I'm just not understanding. We got to connect our toes. All right. So remember, as you're coming in, drop those 1s below. And if you are catching this on replay, drop a 2 below. Share this video if you want to be entered into the drawing. And we are reading the book, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. All right. Okay. See, girl? Yes. Camille, I really adore you. You are such an inspiration. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. But yes, everybody, come on in. Come on in. Lahavis. Am I pronouncing that right? Is that how you pronounce your name? Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Matt, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? Okay, so success is your duty. We talked on, well, let me back it all the way up. What is the 10X rule? So the 10X rule is essentially applying 10 times more effort, 10 times more thought into whatever goal it is that you want to achieve so that you can get greater amounts of what you want. Whether it is financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, familial, just whatever area in your life. Hey, Jessica, what's going on? Okay, and so that is what the 10X rule is. And so he's going through our author, Grant Cardone, and he is just showing us how we are going to utilize that rule in our lives to get what it is that we want. Because we all have goals, we all have things that we still want to achieve, and we haven't done it yet. We might be at a place where we're stuck in our life just kind of wondering like, okay, well, why am I not getting there? Why am I still struggling? I'm doing all of these things, but we still haven't quite mastered it. We still haven't quite arrived where we want to be. Okay. And so this book is for you if that is you. If you have goals and you want to go further and you want to commit to being greater than what you are right now, then you need to stay on here and you need to share this. Okay. So that's the 10. Perfect. I did. All right. Okay, so that is what the 10X rule is. So now yesterday in chapter 3, we were talking about that there's 3 things about success that we really need to know. A little under the weather, but I'm doing good. I hope all is well with you. Yes, I am doing excellent, Jessica. I will definitely be sure to say a prayer for you because you have been under the weather here a little bit too much, girl. Got to take care of yourself. Okay. So the 3 things. Success is important. That's what we talked about yesterday, that we have to change our mindset from just thinking whatever will happen, whatever will come, will come. If I'm successful, great. If I'm not, okay. No, we have to say success is important in our lives. We need to speak it. We need to declare it, and we need to stop minimizing our maximums. Okay. So now the next thing that we're going to talk about tonight, again, is success is your duty. And then the 3rd thing is there is no shortage in success. There is no shortage in success. So he says he stopped casually waiting for success and instead started to approach it as a duty. We have to begin to think about this thing and say, you know what? It is my responsibility. It is my duty to make sure that I am successful. Okay. And so he says, not only as a duty, but an obligation and responsibility. I literally began to see success as an ethical issue, a duty to my family, my company, my future. And so maybe you don't own your own company like Grant, but maybe you have decided that you were going to commit your life to working a job, and that's fine. But if you're going to do it, then do it to your best ability. And make sure that you take responsibility for your success and be the best that you absolutely can be so that you can live the life that you love. So he goes on to make a good point. And he says, I've gone through all the schooling. We all go through school. We learn all of these classes. We learn mathematics, science, and everything of that nature. But what we don't learn is purpose. So we end up going through life frivolously, right? We don't understand why we're here. What is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Has anybody ever felt that way? Like, what am I doing here? Just say yes in the comments if you've ever felt like you didn't know what your purpose was, just kind of felt lost. And I'll tell you, that's probably most of us, right? That is, in fact, it's probably 99% of us where we have been in a place in our life, or maybe we're at a place in our life right now where we don't understand what our purpose is. We are taught everything but what our purpose is. And so he says, luckily for him, he had a few experiences, even though it wasn't taught to him. He had a few experiences that allowed him. Good. I got one. Yes. So y'all I'm not just talking crazy. I'm not just preaching to the choir, right? All right. So he said he had a couple experiences that were like those awakening moments. Anthony, right now, well, hopefully sticking with me in this book will help you out. And of course, seeking the good Lord. All right. So now he says, let me see here. I want to read what he says. He says, my life was a pitiful mess caused by years of approaching my life aimlessly, drifting with no real purpose or focus. I had no money, plenty of uncertainty, no direction, too much free time, and still hadn't made a commitment to approach success as an obligation. Or maybe that's not your story. Maybe you're married with children, you have a lot that's going on, right? But you still are kind of like, I'm unfulfilled. Maybe you're in a career, but you still don't feel like there's something missing. That's how you feel. You feel like there's something missing. You have everything that people say that you should have, but yet you're incomplete. Okay. And so you too have to find what it is that your purpose is, because otherwise you will always have this emptiness and you will never live your life to the full capacity that you're supposed to be living your life. So he says, he was living his life every day, but at the same time, he felt like he was dying. And he says, you don't have to grow old to die. I was dying at age 20 as a result of no direction and no purpose. At that time, I couldn't hold a job, had surrounded myself with losers, and was terminally hopeless. And if that weren't enough, using drugs and alcohol on a daily basis. He said, I had to continue on without a serious, had I continued on without a serious wake-up call, I would have continued to live a mediocre existence at best, and probably much worse. So my question to you is whether your story is like Grant's or whether your story is, I have everything together, yet there's something still missing. My question is, are you living or existing? Are you really thriving in your life right now, or are you merely existing? Hey, Janae, what's going on? What's going on, Alfonso? Are you living or existing in this life? Like, are you intentionally doing what it is that you are doing in your life and enjoying it and loving it? Because if you're not, then you are merely existing. And we want to live a life. We don't want to just exist in life going through. Hey, Derek, Aaron, my brother. Hi, brother. Okay, so now he says, had I not committed to a life of success, I would not have identified my purpose and would have merely spent a lifetime fulfilling everyone else's purpose. Janae, you'll love her. She's amazing and so inspirational. Well, thank you so much, Jessica. Are you living or just existing? Absolutely. That is the question that we should be asking ourselves. I don't care what age you are. I don't care whether you're in college, high school, whether you're in your 20s and you're just getting out of college. Maybe you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, your 70s, whatever. Ask yourself, are you living or existing, right? So now, had he not identified his purpose, he would have just merely continued to exist. When I committed to sales as a career and then I decided to do whatever I had to do in order to become successful at selling, my life changed. So he decided that he was in the sales industry and he really just got committed to sales. He said at one point of time, it was just kind of like he was going to work and he absolutely hated it. How many of you all are just going to work and you absolutely hate what you're doing? What he did was change his mindset about it. And once he changed his mindset about it and became the best at what he was doing, his life changed. He was able to find his purpose and he was able to commit to success. So I don't care what it is that you do, whether you work at a factory, whether you work in a corporation, whether you have your own business, become the best at what you do. Because when you become the best at what you do, you will find that you will have other doors of opportunity open to you, which will lead you and help you identify what your true purpose is. But as long as you keep pushing that target back and making your minimums your maximums, you will always live a mediocre life, wondering, why can't I get any further? Why am I not happier than what I am? Why can I achieve success? It's because of you. You are the reason why you can't achieve success, why you aren't going any further in your life, okay? So he says his second awakening moment was later on in his life. He was 50 years old, and he said the economy was going through a major turn, okay? And he said that at this time, every aspect of his life was being attacked. And had he not really become awakened to what was going on, he would have lost absolutely everything that he had worked for. And so what he said is that he could not go on cruise control. Some of us are going on cruise control. We think like, okay, well, things are okay, but what if something happens? What if the economy crashes? What the government shut down? There are some people who lost their jobs. If you had been planning, if you had been implementing the 10X rule, then you could have a plan B. And so this is what he's saying. You can't go on cruise control just thinking that life is always going to go smoothly. You have to plan for it. And so he said, I had put my family, my companies, and myself on a precarious situation because I had started to rest on my laurels and had discontinued approaching success as my duty, obligation, and responsibility. I had lost my focus and my purpose. That's what happens when we lose our focus and our purpose. That we get into cruise control mode and we put everything at risk because we are not prepared. So you get ready for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And when you just feel like life is good and everything's going well and nothing can happen to me, and you get to that point of just feeling like you're invincible, that's when the bad things happen. And guess what? Because you were in cruise control, you're not ready. So he says, both of these moments, the moments when he was in his 20s and understanding like, I am hanging around a bunch of people who aren't going anywhere. They have no dreams. They have no goals. I'm drinking. I'm smoking every day. I don't like what I do. I don't even understand what my purpose is. That event. And then the event where he was older and he goes into this moment of cruise control and just feeling like I've achieved it all. Those are his two awakening moments. So again, it doesn't matter where you are in your life. The 10X rule of ensuring that you apply more effort and more thought, 10 times more effort and more thought. That is what's going to help you to make sure that you get success and keep success. Success is your duty. I could only imagine if I had a family and kids, when I went through my storms, definitely learned my lessons. Yes, right? Lessons. There are going to be storms that come, and we have to be prepared for them. And so at both these pivotal points in my life, I woke up to the fact that success is important in order to have a full life. I realized that greater quantities of success are necessary than most people calculate, and the continued pursuit of success should be approached not as a choice, but as an absolute must. So where are most people? Where are the majority of people? Majority of people look at success as though it doesn't matter. It's just kind of like, okay, whatever life has for me is what life has for me. But that's not the case. The truth is that you can actually put effort and thought behind some actions and absolutely change your situation. And that you don't have to be in a place of suffering and be in a place that you are completely unhappy with. All right. So now he says, it's like an option, or perhaps just something that only happens to other people. Others settle for just a little success, believing if they have a little, everything will be all right. So, success, we have to remember, for us is not an option. Now, of course, I know that I'm not talking to everybody. I am talking about the people who are forward thinking. I'm talking about the people who have goals. I'm talking about the people who want to leave a legacy for generations to come. This is who this message is for. Okay, so if you're not concerned about being able to provide for your family for generations to come, if you're not concerned about leaving an impact in this world before you die, then this isn't for you. Okay, but for the rest of you who have goals, for the rest of you who want to achieve more, you have to understand that you have to make success your responsibility, and you have to say that success is not an option, but it is my duty. Success is not an option, but it is my duty. Treating success as an option is one of the major reasons why more people don't create it for themselves, and why most people don't even get close to living up to their full potential. We have so much greatness inside of us. And as I've shared before, that there is a quote that says the richest place ever is the graveyard, because there are so many people who are in the graveyard who died with their full potential still within them. They did not live full and die empty. Okay? They lived empty and died full. And that's not what we want to do. We don't want to have all of our gifts and our talents buried under the ground or for wherever you are in a box. You don't want it cremated, right? You want to be able to say that I live life to the fullest, that I reach my full potential, that you leave a mark that for years to come, people will remember who you are, because not for fame, but because you left an impact, because you help people. So he then goes on to say, and he poses the question. He says, how close are you to reaching your full capabilities? How close are you to reaching your full capability? Now, for most of us, we're not going to like the answer. I know for me personally, I am nowhere near reaching my full capability. And so that's why I'm reading this book. This is why I'm talking to you all, because it's helping to hold me accountable to do what it is that I'm telling you all to do. Right? And just the encouragement behind it. So we have to make sure that success becomes an ethical issue for us. That even when we don't feel obligated, let me change that around, and driven to fulfill our capacity, people don't approach the creation of success. Did I read that correctly? If it doesn't become an ethical issue for you, then you won't feel obligated. There we go. And driven to fulfill your capacity. People don't approach the creation of success as a must-have obligation or do or die mission, gotta have it, hungry dog on the back of a meat truck mentality. Then they spend the rest of their lives making excuses for why they didn't get it. And that is what happens when you consider success to be an alternative rather than an obligation. So are you saying that success is an alternative or an obligation? For me, I'm making it an obligation. I don't have any children, but I have some nieces and nephews that I know are watching me. I have some teenagers and children. Hey, Wilbert, you're going to have to catch the replay. Who are watching me. And I want them to know that they can absolutely be whatever it is that they want to be, achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. And it is my responsibility to make that impact in their life, that I don't allow another generation to go through feeling like they cannot live the life that they love spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially, that they have to settle, that they have to be in a place where they're just completely miserable. There's too many people who are walking around just nasty minded, nasty attitudes, nasty mouths. All you think is negativity. We can't do that. We cannot do that. There is so much that God has for us if we would actually get up off of our lazy behinds and put the work in. And then when we put the work in, the thing is that success then becomes easy. It can become a habit to us. And then it's not even like, okay, well, now I got to go and do all this extra. No, once you really get down the formula to success, it's no longer something hard, because it will just happen. Okay. All right. So let me continue on because I'm digressing. He says, in my home, we consider success to be vital to our family's future. My wife and I are on the same page with this. We meet often to talk about why it's so important and determine exactly what we have to do to keep secondary issues out of the way. When they're planning ahead for barriers and obstacles that are going to come. How many of you sit down with your family and plan for obstacles that are going to come? See, they're prepared if something is to happen. They're implementing the 10X rule and just saying, we're not going to take it moment by moment, but we're going to say, okay, well, what if the kids come home and they're failing at school? What are we going to do? They're thinking about this and they're planning about it ahead of time so that it doesn't become such a huge crisis when it actually happens, right? He says, I don't just mean success monetary terms, but in every area. He says they do this for their marriage, their health, their religion, contributions to the community, and even the future. Long after they're gone, they're thinking about legacy. What is going to happen when I leave here? And they're planning for it now. There's foundations that people have started when they were alive, but they continue on later, and their money is still giving. Their life impact is still giving. You think about your Martin Luther King Jr.'s, right, of the world, who left an impact because he gave all that he had. And so now all over the world, people pay respect to Martin Luther King Jr. He has a statue in several different countries because of the impact that he made. That's the type of legacy that we should be desiring, that people, and why should we desire that? Because that means that our families will continue on. That means that our friends will continue on and be at a better place in their life, and that you have lived fulfilled. So I'm not saying all of us going to have statues everywhere, but whatever your goal is, do it 10 times. Put 10 times more effort, 10 times more of the thought process into it, so that when you leave here, you have left a legacy for you and your family. Okay. And, or even the world, right? Think big. Stop thinking so small. Stop thinking that everything is just about you. It's not just about you. Your life is so much bigger. You have to get a vision that is bigger than yourself. Stop being so caught up in the fact that you can't pay your bills. Figure out how to pay your bills and then teach other people how to pay their bills. Teach them how you came up out of your mess so they can get out of their mess. And you continue to teach that for generations to come. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Take the mess that you're in and, as they would say, turn it into a message. You have purpose. Stop sitting down on it. Get serious about living your life so that you can truly live a fulfilled life, okay? So he says that, they treat success like success is their baby. They are the parents of success. You are the parents of your success. How are you treating your success? Are you a good parent? Are you taking care of it? Right? A good parent might need to feed their baby at night. A good parent has to change diapers. A good parent might have to travel for their child. A good parent has to take care of a child when they're sick. A good parent is going to feed and clothe their children. What are you doing for your goal, your baby, your success? because you are the parent of your success. Your success is your baby. How are you nourishing it? So this is how we have to approach it. This is how we have to go after it. How you treat your child if you are a good parent. If not, go find an example of a good parent. That's how you have to do your success. You have to grow it. You have to see it through to the end. Okay? Now, the next thing that he talks about is quit lying to yourself. It is fairly common for people who don't get what they want to provide justifications or even lie to themselves about the situation, minimizing how valuable success is to them. It's easy to spot this trend in our society today with the entire demographics and population segments. So, we say things to ourselves like, well, you know what? I didn't really want it anyway. I didn't really want that promotion. I didn't really want to start that business. I didn't really want to date that guy. I really didn't want to date that woman. I didn't want to marry them. I really didn't want this to happen, knowing all along that you wanted it. Now, at some point in time, you probably changed your mind because you felt like it was no longer attainable for you. But the fact of the matter is that you wanted it. And we have to be honest with ourselves and stop lying and again turning our minimums into maximums, right? Or then we turn, well, I guess it just wasn't God's will. Maybe God just didn't think you were worthy enough of whatever it is he was going to bless you with, because you wouldn't get up and take the action. Faith without works is dead. So if you're not getting up and so yeah, God will just bless, and there are miracles that happen, but bottom line, what has been tried and true is that you have to get up and you have to take some action, baby. Okay, that we can't all just sit here and say, oh God, I want to become a millionaire, and then and just feel like, oh God, please answer my prayer that I want to be a millionaire, and then he's going to be like, here you go, here's $1 million in your pocket. Even lottery players got to get up and do some work. They got to invest in the ticket. They got to go and buy the ticket, right? We've talked about that. So even people who end up getting money real quick, there's still something that they have to do in order to make that happen. They have to then go and say, hey, I won. That is great. Some people get comfortable when they should be uncomfortable to stay motivated and pushing themselves to a higher level spiritually, physically, and financially. Absolutely, Waylon. And good evening, everyone who's joining in. So we're reading the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, and we are on chapter 4. Okay, so make sure you share this video if you want to help somebody out, and then also be entered into a drawing to win cash and gift cards and free health and wellness products. So moving on, he says it's entirely okay to admit that you wanted something and it didn't come to fruition. In fact, this is the only thing that will help you eventually reach that goal, despite the obstacles you'll encounter along the way. When you can say, hey, I want that, and you make up in your mind that you want it, it won't even matter what comes your way. You're going to figure out how to get it when you get committed to success. So you have to first decide, I am committed to success, and success is my duty. And because it is my duty, I'm going to do what it takes to get to what I want, right? So even the most fortunate and well-connected people among us must do something to put themselves in the right places at the right times in front of the right people. What are you doing to be at the right place at the right time in front of the right people? Sitting at home, scrolling on Facebook, sitting on your couch, watching the latest television show? If that's where you are, baby, you're not going to find it. You're not going to get to the people, the places, or the things that you need to achieve your success. And some of you need to get focused success. We're just everywhere. We're aimlessly just going for everything, just feeling like, oh, okay, I'm going to go after this, and I'm going to go after that, and I'm going to go after this. And you are just as wild as I don't know what. You need to bring in the focus, really identify what is your purpose, set up your goals that are going to align with your purpose so that it can truly happen for you. And you don't feel like, okay, well, I have all of these goals and all of these things are happening, but you're still not seeing any results. And it's because you are not doing it the proper way. See, you're supposed to increase your actions and increase your thought, but you need to do it intentionally, and you have to have aim with it and not just out here dibbing and dabbing in everything that you can possibly get your hand in. Okay? So now he says that a lot of times we look at it and we're like, well, how did they get so lucky? How did they get so blessed? How did they get so whatever word it is that you want to use, right? Well, that is actually just a byproduct of people who actually get up and do something. The people who are actually up making it happen, the movers and the shakers. All right. They're so blessed and they are so lucky because they're putting some work in. And then he gives some examples. All right. He says KFC. So Colonel Sanders, who made Kentucky Fried Chicken famous, pitched his idea more than 80 times before anyone bought the concept. You know, it's funny. I watched this whole phenomenon with the Dosh app. Some of you got the Dosh app. I even had the Dosh app. I made some money off the Dosh app, right? But some people got the Dosh app, and the Dosh app is essentially where you can buy things, and when you refer people, you make money, and when you purchase things, you can make cash back, okay? So people would get out here and they would be like, let me go ahead and try this. And after they sent it to one or two people, or they made one post on Facebook and it didn't work for them, they quit and they said, oh, well, it doesn't work and nobody wants to sign up. Well, you know what? Colonel Sanders had to send it his idea, present his idea 80 times before somebody accepted it. We are so quick to quit. We are so quick to give up and say something doesn't work. When the thing is, it's not that it doesn't work. You just have to keep going. Keep going. Stop quitting on everything. So what? It didn't happen in the first time. So what? It didn't happen the 10th, the 20th, the 70th, the 50th, maybe you're like Colonel Sanders and on the 80th it's going to happen, right? So the other example that he gives is Rocky. So it took Stallone only 3 days to write the script for Rocky. And the movie grossed $200 million. But when he wrote it, he had no money to his name. He couldn't afford to heat his apartment and even had to sell his dog for $50 just to be able to buy food. But some of us give up on our dreams and feel like, okay, well, this is it. You know, I'm going to be homeless. I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be poor. I'm not going to be able to amount to anything. If I could just get a job for $10 an hour, if I could just get a job for $15 an hour, I'll be set. Guess what? You can have so much more than that. If you decide to dream bigger, if you decide to commit to success, you don't have to go out here and live miserably just to get by, just to make it, just to struggle, just to live paycheck to paycheck. Now, the third example that he gives is Walt Disney. And he says Disney was laughed at for his idea of an amusement park. And you guys go research these people because they have some incredible stories. And yet, now people all over the world spend $100 a ticket and sometimes more, and save up their whole lives just to have a family vacation at Disney World. How crazy is that? And guess what? Disney isn't even alive, right? Walt Disney is no longer living, but people save up their whole entire life to take their family on a Disney vacation. Man. Isn't that crazy? But yet we give up. People laughed at Disney. People laugh at us. We stopped. People laughed at Disney. He kept going. He kept pushing. He said, I know I have something. I know my idea is great. I know that it's going to work out. I just have to keep going until I find the people who truly want to buy into what I'm doing. Because when I find the right people, the right places, the right things, this thing is going to blow up. He was crazy enough to believe that his dreams, his goals could come to fruition. Are you crazy enough to believe in yourself and do it at all costs and say that whatever it is that I need to do, I'm willing to do it because our success is our baby. We are the parents of our success. Aren't you willing to do whatever you need to do? If you are a good parent, you are, right? If you are the good Aunt Mew, as I am. All right, so I like what you're saying, cuz. Let me go down here. Amen. Right, Sanders is the guy. I like what you're saying, cuz. Hey, cuz. He left to impact. Yes. It's the happiest place on earth. That's what they say, right? If you look at the lens negative, then you will have a negative outcome. But if you look at the lens in a positive way, then you have positive outcomes. Stop giving up so easily. Life is worth it. But you have to believe in yourself. All we need is the faith the size of a mustard seed. And then once we nourish that seed, we put water on it, we allow sunlight to get on it, we do what it needs to do, we protect it from negative things coming its way, that thing is going to sprout up and become bigger than what we could have imagined would come from this little itty bitty seed. But we give up and we pull up our seed, and you know what? I'm going to take my seed back, because ain't nobody feeling nobody can appreciate my little seed. Nobody can see, so I'm going to take it and I'm gone. That's how we are. I'll keep it to myself. Don't nobody need to know. And then we become bitter. We're mad at the world because everybody rejected us. Nobody wanted to hear what we had to say. So then we start throwing this pity party. Now we're making excuses. Now we're talking negative about everybody. We are a mess. But if we want to be a mover and shaker, we want to be the people who leave a legacy, who are known for leaving an impact in this world, we have to change that mindset. Right? So let's see, where am I? All right. And I'm on page 29 if you actually have the book. Let me see. Where was I? Oh, so now we go into, if you're able to repeatedly attain success, it becomes less of a success and more of a habit. Almost everyday life for some people. Successful people have been described as having a certain magnetism. See, we just feel like, oh, they're successful and everybody. I'm reading the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, and we're on chapter 4, Derek. So it is the 10X rule. I know it's backwards, so I'll hold it up there for a second. All right. So, and guys, make sure you share this video I do a weekly drawing. So you cash prizes, gift cards, and free health and wellness products. So make sure you share this video if it has been helping you at all and you want to help somebody else and get in on the drawing. So, all right. But yeah, we can think, okay, these people just always are connected to the right people. They're always getting the things that they need. And that's because they have put the work in. And so then people can trust them. So it's like, okay, well, I know that I can trust Jessica because Jessica has performed before and I see the work that she has done. So I'm not even going to bother with all this other extra stuff because too many people, they're wishy-washy. Too many people quit too soon. They're not willing to overcome obstacles. They're not willing to overcome barriers. So I'm not even going to worry with them. I'm going to go to the people who have shown me a track record of proven success. And that's why the people who have had success continue to get success, because they're attracting people to them who see that they have been successful. And you're not going to get that if you just go through life just doing things halfway. Put your all into this, okay? So now he says, because successful individuals approach success as a duty, obligation, and responsibility, and even a right, they believe it is my right to be successful. He says, so let's say there's an opportunity for success in the vicinity of two people. And for one person, they believe it is their duty to be successful. They have to do what it takes to get it done. And then the other person kind of has an attitude of like, take it or leave it attitude. So who do you think is going to be able to get that opportunity of success? The person who said, hey, I am going to take success as my duty, or the person who said it's kind of take it or leave it, just if it happens, cool. But if not, then, it's no biggie. The person who owned it, the person who said, I dominate this, the person who said, I'm a force to be reckoned with, that is the person who is going to get it. Understand this. If you want success, you have to be the one to step up and say, I own this. This is my responsibility. This is my duty. And if you don't do that, well, then you're going to be looked over. If you want to be looked over, then live that lifestyle. But if you don't, then I suggest that you get up, you figure out what it's going to take for you to identify your purpose and then walk in that. Align your goals with your purpose and do it the best way that you absolutely can. Hey, Ronald, Jessica is the guinea pig. Yep, Jessica was the guinea pig today. All right. So now He says, and despite the often used phrase, there is no such thing as an overnight success. Success always comes. Oh, I love this one. Success always comes as a result of earlier actions, no matter how seemingly insignificant they are or how long ago they were taken. What small daily actions are you taking to yield big results? What small daily actions are you taking to yield big results? I was talking to my team tonight, training tonight, and just saying, what are you all doing on a daily basis? How many people are you talking to about your business on a daily basis? Because whatever you do every day, it's going to add up. So if you're only talking to one person about your opportunity, then expect that you are going to get one person type results. You are going to get the minimum results. But if you go out here and you increase that, then you are going to get better and bigger results, right? But it has to be done daily. It has to be done daily. Yes, action brings results. And so those small things add up over time. But then when we add the 10x rule to it, we are doing 10 times that, because now we're shortening the time frame and we're ensuring that we go above and beyond what we even stated our goal was, to make sure that we don't miss our maximums, but we reach our maximums, and that we're not making our minimums our maximums. Y'all following me? Does that make sense? So we have to ensure that we are reaching our goals of whatever it is, at whatever aspect of our lives. We implement the 10x rule so that we can get there. Okay? All right. And we can have beyond anything that we've even imagined. So the problem is that we want instant money. We want instant health goals. We want instant love, right? If it comes down to money, it's like, okay, well, I want it right now and I need big amounts right now. It's like, what have you done? Now, you want to be the overnight success, but the truth is the overnight success has done actions over a period of time to allow them to get to where they are. You want to lose weight, but you don't want to do anything. You want this magical pill. Well, listen, even if you do a magical pill, you have to take the magical pill, and most of us won't even take the magical pill. So you have to do something on a consistent daily basis in order for your success to come. What are you doing to reach your goals every day? Or even, like I said, love, right? We want to find somebody and we want it to be love at first sight, and then we want to be married and have kids, and everything is just like boom, 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 right? But we're not doing the proper steps to ensure that that love has a strong foundation and is sustainable. There are things that still has to happen. So when you're thinking about your goals and you're thinking about success, don't think of it as there's just one day it's going to happen. No, you need to think about this as every day I have a responsibility to work towards my goal. I don't care if it's researching something. I don't care if it's just spending an extra time and putting some extra, quality time somewhere. Whatever it is, do it every day. Every day. Okay, so now, success comes about as a result of mental and spiritual claims to own it, followed by taking necessary actions over time until it's acquired. That's why people do affirmations. That's why when they wake up in the morning, they say, I am a force to be reckoned with. I am healthy. I am happy. I do have multiple sources of income coming in, and it is always increasing. I am, this is what they're doing. The I am statement is so powerful, and it's creating in the atmosphere, an atmosphere there is ready to receive, and it's commanding your day. You hear people say, you need to wake up and you need to command your day. You need to make sure that your thoughts are in the right thinking so that your day will go the way that you want it to go, the way that you desire it to go. So this is what we need to be doing with our goals and with the things that we want to achieve. We got to get up and we have to command it. We have to speak it over our lives every day, every night. Begin to make it a spiritual thing. Begin to make it a mental thing that's happening. Don't just get up and leave your success to chance. because chances are it won't happen for you. This is how success comes about, right? Okay. So now, I don't know about you, but it's time to shift. It's time to shift the atmosphere. And he says, I guarantee that when you and your family and your company begin to consider success as a responsibility and an ethical issue, then everything else will immediately start to shift. When you say my success is my duty and this is an ethical issue for me, right? Like this is something that has to be done, then you're going to be able to shift the atmosphere and things will begin to change for you in your life. When you decide that you are going to make success your duty, you are going to make success your duty. Stop leaving it up to everybody else. Stop blaming your boss because they don't see the little work that you put in every day. You start doing more work to make some noise, to make it impossible for them to ignore you. And then if they still don't see you, then get up, get out of your place of comfort and move on or start your own business. Stop using stuff as an excuse. Stop blaming everybody for things that you have control of. That's the problem. We want instant gratification. Yes, strong foundations and the things we want and desire. Yes, think about it, pray for it, emit that frequency. Yes, absolutely. And so, what else did I underline here? Because I'm not reading everything, right? But it says we are required to live up to the potential with which we have been blessed. That is our responsibility back to our Creator. That's how God gets the glory out of our lives. That we are required to live to the potential, right? Live up to the potential with which we have been blessed. God didn't give you the gifts and the talents that you have for you to sit on your tail and do nothing, for you to sit at home and complain and decide that, you know what, this life is just this life, right? Is it even worth living? Yes, it's worth living. So get up and live it. Get up and have life. Get up and stop being so cranky. Stop being so mean. Stop being so horrible in the way that you approach things and decide that you want to be an excellent person, that you want to live a life of excellence, that the things that you do is excellent, the places that you serve is excellent, the businesses that you have is excellent. Stop just trying to get by. That's not what life is about. We're not just trying to get by. We're trying to go through life and live life to our fullest capabilities because that's why God has put us here. God wants us to go out here and exert ourselves so that we can show Him love, so that we can show others love, so that we can show ourselves love. You remind of my father, he gets on me on excuses. Excuses will get you absolutely nowhere, Eric. And yes. So, you must constantly demand success as your duty, obligation, and responsibility. You must constantly demand success as your duty, obligation, and responsibility. I am going to show you how to guarantee that this happens in any business or industry at any time, despite all obstacles and whatever volumes you desire. Success must be approached from an ethical viewpoint. Success is your duty, obligation, responsibility. Success is your duty, your obligation, your responsibility. Your duty, your obligation, your responsibility. So, guys, that is chapter 4. That success is your duty. Tomorrow night, we are going to be on chapter 5. We will be talking about there is no shortage in success. So, if you are watching this live, make sure you drop those ones below. If you're catching this on replay, drop a 2. We're reading the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, and we will be on chapter 5 tomorrow. If this helped you, then make sure you share this video. And in sharing this video, not only is it going to help your friends and family, but it's also going to get you into the drawing for cash prizes, gift card prizes, and free health and wellness products. So, guys, thank you so much for being on here with me tonight. We will be back at it tomorrow night. So make sure, if you haven't already, get this book, the 10X rule. Get this book. We're going to be reading all of the chapters together. okay, and discussing. So make sure that you feel free to drop in the comments and add to the conversation and the discussion as we're talking. I'm dropping this one on you. Yeah. Drop your one. Got on late, but love that book. Awesome, Elwood. So definitely you should get on here and add some input from what you took away from the book as well. So guys, that's my time. I'm Camille Aiko. I hope that you are living the life that you love, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. Good night.